Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the domain of the Chaos God. And I've got something special. I've been working a while on this ship, from conceptualizing it, getting some designs thought up, and actually also written down on paper, and then finally spending the majority of today and yesterday building it. It's finally done. This, in total, between all the planning, preparation, and everything else, has probably been about a month in the making. I'd like to introduce you to the Vengeance class battleship. We have our observation deck right next to the command deck, right up here. And it's just a nice area where you can kind of like sit out and look on the look out on the planets as you're passing by, or on any combat that's going by on the ship. Also, the entire ship is, of course, fully pressurizable, with airlocks for quick exit out on every important deck. Get us back up to pressure. As we come down here to the first floor, we see that we have a nice little overlook of the hangar bay, all docked up with the Viper-class strike ships. You should be able to see those in a separate video, link in description for that. If you've never seen the Viper-class, highly deadly ship. That's all I'm going to say about them. I love them a lot. Not as much as I love this battleship, though. We got crowd bays and respawn bays. The crowd bays are obviously... Excuse me. The crowd bays are right here, right on the same deck that you can see the hangar bay from. And then on the other side, I believe, is the respawn... Or no, not on the other side. Down a floor is the respawn bay right here. And there's one on the other side to twin it, as you can see. Then finally, we enter the actual hangar bay, where we once again have strike ships ready to fly out the hangar. And it's just a little bit of proof that we can get out the hangar bay. And obviously we got all 4 Viper class ready to unload the exact same way we unloaded this one. And now that leads me to the exterior of the ship. There's not too much to show on the interior, because the focus of the ship is more making it combat effective and making it the most powerful frontline combat ship you could have. Is the primary point. The ship is completely vanilla, by the way, although it does use DLC items. So just heads up on those of you who haven't bought the DLCs yet. At the frontier, we have a bunch of thrusters for helping the deceleration of the ship, as well as railguns. And I put the spotlights in for 2 reasons. One, atmospheric, just like kind of that way when you're looking at the side, you can kind of see a little bit of extra light, and that'll give it a little bit of extra detail and make it look just a little bit cooler. But also, so that way, if you are looking at it head on, you might confuse it for the rear with just the thruster pods, so that way it lures you into a false sense of security before it immediately shoots you in the face with twin railguns. As you can see, there's a couple, just a couple of guns alongside the ship. I believe, if I remember correctly, that there are 64 of the assault cannon turrets and 46 of the artillery turrets, just the way a heavy hitter like this should be. And then around here in the engine section, you can see we've got 3 tiers of engines, just to help stagger them out so they're a little bit harder to hit. She is equipped with jump drives. If I remember correctly, she is equipped with 4 jump drives. Just double check. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 jump drives on her. and she is overall designed to be the heavy hitter of a fleet, and moreover than that, she is designed to be the central command structure of a fleet, able to contain a lot of resources, as I'm sure you can see via the admittedly exposed cargo containers, front and back, as well as she does have very large hydrogen reserves to top off fighters that need to dock in her central hangar bay, which I put here specifically because, I mean, it's an extremely armored area, because, you know, you got all the armor surrounding it on the front and the back, so that kind of helps me be able to armor it up so that way it's much less fragile, because when there's super armored sections in front and on the back of an area, makes it much less awkward to armor the central area of whatever structure you're trying to protect. Not to mention, I do think that it gives it a nice aesthetic. As honestly, it almost reminds me of a like a jumbo battleship from World War II. Like if you just like upscaled one of those to the max. That's what it really reminds me of. Now, someone did recommend turning these large ion engines into smalls, so I could have a little bit better angle of fire on my turrets, and I might do that. Just kidding, I'm not going to do that. I think that it looks fine the way it is. If I did it small, then it would ruin a little bit of the detailing, and I'm not all about that. Because another thing that you got to consider when designing a ship is how pretty it is. And not to toot my own horn here, but this is probably one of the prettiest ships that I've built. You can see here, right in front of the hangar bay, you can kind of just go down. You see these little stilts that are acting like they're holding up the extended pad, where you can kind of like walk around and talk with visitors when the doors are open. And then under here we have thrusters that have been hooked away, just in case something horrible happens to the front and the back. That way you're not completely unavailable to run. Also, I do have searchlights on either side of the hangar bays, on both sides, in order to help guide small ships in, specifically negotiation craft or other craft that are maybe having a hard time because they're damaged. Let's be fair, I just put them there because I thought they'd look cool pointing at ships. That's the main reason. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. And of course, assuming that I didn't already open the hangar bay, I could just walk on right through. So there is multiple ways in and out of the ship should something happen. Let's say it starts exploding from the inside due to sabotage. And I feel like that is a really, really great feature to have in a ship. Another thing that I really like is the windows that I put in the hangar bay. I made them redundantly layered, I'll just put it that way. So that way they don't get just easily shot out and you lose pressure in the hangar bay. Let's say you get ambushed. You don't want to lose pressure in one of your primary areas just out of the blue. You want to be able to take a couple of hits, and so that's kind of why I have those being so thick. But I also like the ability to see out into wherever you are, because that does provide quite a good aesthetic. Unfortunately, this ship is extremely large and has no ion engines, or excuse me, and has no hydrogen engines on board, so it is bound to space combat. However, quite frankly, with a ship like this, that's where it was going to excel anyways. So I personally don't think that it's too much of a loss. In any case, headed back to where we started. I would like to thank you guys so much for watching. That has been a brief overview of the Vengeance class battleship by yours truly. Beyond that, I would really like to be able to test it against someone else's design. Maybe build a battleship and contact me in the comments. You know, just let me know, hey, I have a ship I think we might be able to fight. And I would greatly appreciate it, because being able to test it against a static target that's one thing, but testing it in an actual battle against another actual player is something completely different. In any case, thank you guys again so much for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, or more content by me in general. Write down in the comments if you think I should bring that strike ship back in. It is looking a little bit lonely. I don't know. Might leave it out there. We'll see how I'm feeling. In any case, you guys have a great day out there. And remember, keep causing chaos. But not too much. That's my job.